Hi, I'm John Silvestri, and welcome to Chicago in the SIOR Live Conference. And I'm here with David Ariola of Chicago Realty and Gabriel Silverstein of Angelic Realty in New York. Guys, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thanks
for having us.
So, Emerging Trends 2015 comes out, and they survey the industry. And the statistic was 84% of the respondents to this year's survey said that the prospects for profitability are high for 2016. The interesting thing was, that's exactly what they said in 2006, and we all remember what happened then. Generally, whether we're talking leasing or sales, what are you looking at for 2016? Dave, go ahead.
I mean, it seems to me, as a service provider, which we are, if you're not busy now, you're probably never busy. So it's been very busy. We do project management work, and people are spending real capital dollars, which it seemed to be slow to get that spigot open. So I think people feel pretty confident, and we're seeing it. We're busy, probably busiest we've been in a while. And people spending real dollars and making real leasing decisions.
So any outlook?
I have to be optimistic, so yeah. I mean, I certainly hope it'll be better.
Well, that never got anybody in trouble.
That's right. No, I think it'll be. I think I'm looking forward to 2016. I think it's going to be a great year.
Terrific. Gabriel, what are you looking at? Do you agree with the statistics?
I agree, and I'll point out that 2006 was a fantastic year for a lot of people.
Right.
So the issue was 2008.
Right.
So I guess
the
the biggest question is: are we nearing that same precipice that we stumbled blindly through 2006 on?
Are we at the peak?
Right. Are we at that true peak? And that's a very good question. So, we're seeing the same thing. A lot of activity. I don't know an official industry statistic, but I'm actually convinced that there's fewer people in the service provider side of this business, brokers, if you will, than there were at that time. I don't believe the number of people that we lost from the industry as professionals have actually been fully replenished, and I think that's true of a number of industries. So that's an interesting thing, that there's arguably maybe more business to go around in a fewer set of people.
Right.
Which means I think people sleep less still than they used to, no matter how much technology has helped us streamline that.
Borrowing a phrase from 2007, 2008, we're, in terms of interest rates, we're apparently kicking the can down the road, pretty much, safe until 2016. What are you guys looking at? What is your projection for what's going to happen when they finally do start to increase it? And does it matter? It's part of the fear is that they're just going to leap. And I think it's generally accepted that it's not going to be quite as drastic as everybody feared. What is your...
Ironically, I think we've been hearing about interest rates going up literally for close to 6 years now, since they first got precipitously dropped in 2008, 2009. Historically, the data does not correlate a rise in interest rates to negative performance in cap rates, for instance. NCREIF has a chart that we've looked at over and over that, in fact, in times of interest rate rises, we see almost zero statistical correlation to cap rate movement. And generally speaking, when we see interest rate rises, that's because the people leading the rise in interest rates, for the Fed and the market itself, are doing so because of the same exact things that also usually correspond to increases in rental rates.
Right.
And we see rent growth, and cap rates are not a function of spread over interest rates. They're a combination of both that and also what is your future earning on that asset potentially going to be. And when you see rental rates go up, your future earnings go up, you can pay a lower cap rate today. So I think we can project right now reasonable cap rate stability. We might see NOI start to grow. Pricing may not grow as quickly as NOI does. But I don't believe the industry should be scared of an interest rate rise as a general rule. I do think we will see it grow slowly, though, because I think the international factors, the global factors of our economy now, with where interest rates are in Canada, England, Germany, Japan, will continue to hold back interest rate rises in the United States.
Interesting. Interesting.
I almost hope they go up because, again, in my business, my space, I'm not dealing with the institutional buyers who I don't think will be nearly as affected. But anything below that scale, you can't touch it as far as on the investment side because it's flying off the shelves with shaky fundamentals as far as I'm concerned. So I'm hopeful that if there's just a little change, maybe people will rethink that. But it's really hard if we have a buyer in the market to find a deal that looks reasonable and not very risky.
For a different reason, I hope interest rates go up, and this is a very strange kind of backward kind of way to come into this thought, but I want to see interest rates go up because if they don't at some point rise, then the Fed has absolutely no gas in the tank. And there is nothing that if we had a recession today, there would be, where would they go? They have nowhere to go.
Right.
So at some point we need to see that climb back up as a demonstration of some strength in the economy so that we have room to adjust them downward later to counter some recessionary moves.
Interesting point. Since you both have a regional focus, Dave, you in Chicago, Gabriel, you in New York, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with both of your markets, both in terms of on this acquisition side, the acquisition disposition side, and the leasing side. What are you seeing, both in terms of foreign capital coming in and the activity? Who's doing the deals on the sales side?
We get more foreign capital coming into New York probably than any other city in the United States, typically, and that tends to be just a constant rotation of where is the money coming from. Is it coming from China? Is it coming from Russia? Is it coming from Germany? Is it coming from Japan? We are still seeing a lot of international investment.
Right.
The group that gets overlooked, ironically more than anybody, the single largest foreign investment in the United States in real estate is from Canada.
Right.
And a lot of people don't talk about it. But we do have a lot of that. We are still seeing strong interest from foreign money in the New York market. We work in a lot of markets around the country, and we're seeing it filter to some other markets, but there's still a very strong prevalence of that foreign capital going to just top 5 markets. It has historically been where foreign capital is focused, and I think it is continuing to keep that focus.
How about you, Dave?
I'm not an expert in that area, but there's several big, very large-scale development deals that are going on here, and I think almost all of them have foreign capital. One Canadian that they started 100% equity, no loan on it at all, that Heinz is doing right now. And there's a large hotel residential deal with all Chinese equity. So I think it's interesting that the major development deals are all foreign capital.
Gentlemen, a great place to end. And I want to thank you both for your time. And I want to thank you for joining us on Globe Street TV.